Hi, and welcome to another episode of Sip and Speak. I'm your host, Fids. Today I have with me.
Aziizi.
Today we'll be talking about alternative living. Is the Bruneian dream home changing? When we think about a dream home in Brunei, I think most of us imagine a spacious, detached house with a large compound. Something most of us grow up aspiring to. But lately, we've seen container homes, modular homes, and minimalist designs popping up everywhere, even in Brunei. So, is this a social media trend, or are the younger generation really changing the way how their dream homes look like now? What do you think, Zizi?
I think it's a bit of both. Social media has definitely influenced the way people see houses today because of the variety of designs that are showcased on social media. It's making people realize that a home doesn't have to be huge for it to be comfortable or stylish. At the same time, priorities are changing. People are looking for more practical setup. Like how Japanese designers are now designing stuff that could work for multiple things. That makes sense.
So, what type of home would you like, Zizi?
I'm the type to like open spaces. I like it when I can see all my stuff in one place instead of, you know, having different rooms around the house. I prefer having one large room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like a bungalow, would you say?
A bungalow works.
Yeah. Or a loft?
Or a loft. Yeah.
Or
a loft.
I would say one bedroom apartment studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like a warehouse.
Oh, actually, a warehouse isn't a bad idea. I would love that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But some people also say that houses are becoming more expensive. In Brunei, land is still available. So do you think that affordability is really one of the main reasons?
I wouldn't say it's just about the land. Building houses nowadays is a huge investment. If we compare ourselves to countries like maybe Singapore, construction costs, materials, it really accumulates to something more lah. I think most people don't realize that container homes aren't necessarily cheap, especially if you add air conditioners, interior design, wiring, for example. It really accumulates to a lot more. For some people, it's not about building the cheapest house. It's more about building a home that's manageable, practical, and it fits all their needs to a point.
That's interesting because in Brunei, there's still a strong family culture. Many families still prefer to live in bigger homes, especially if children, parents, and grandparents are still living together.
Exactly. And I don't think alternative living is supposed to replace that. Larger homes are supposed to be for larger families. But for younger couples or like newlyweds, for example, I think a smaller home does make sense. Less things to take care of, less bills, and etc. Some people would rather invest in experiences like traveling or saving.
Of course, Suzy, living in a container home in Brunei doesn't come without its challenges.
Like it's Brunei, it's really hot here, and ventilation is really important. There's also a lot of things that you need to consider, like suitable land, approvals for this and that. You also have to think about stuff like safety. It looks simple on social media, but it's actually more complicated than that.
So perhaps the dream home in Brunei isn't completely changing. It's just becoming more personal.
For some people, it's always a traditional home, but for some, it could be like a minimalist space. At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you and what suits your budget.
Maybe that's the real shift that we're seeing. Instead of asking, how big do I want my house to be? I should be asking, or you should be asking, what kind of life do I want my house to support? So here's a question for you. Would you trade a bigger house for a simpler lifestyle? Let us know. Anyway, that's it for today's Sip and Speak. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!
Toodles!